new generation of Formula One is here. We've got the first look of the new cars at the Australian Grand Prix this past weekend. And here to tell me all their thoughts about how fantastic the new F1 season is Tom and Nick. Welcome, gents.
Hello.
Howdy.
Sorry, good day.
Good day. I'm not going to do any more.
Yeah, please don't.
Let's not upset the one listener we might have in Australia. So, new season of F1, new cars. Mixed response, I would say, to them. But we'll review the action and give our thoughts on it. Was there any news you guys wanted to cover prior to the race?
Not particularly, no.
I think we covered that in our preview episode, which is available to listen to now. So, otherwise, it was just all a lot more talk, and I was just anticipating the racing to start.
Yes, I did see a couple of bits from Martin's Grid Walk. One of them was meeting what was his name? The guy from White Chicks. And Brooklyn, Terry Crews.
Terry Crews, yeah.
Didn't meet Terry Crews, and Terry Crews remembered him, which was nice. So he's up.
Also, the OzGP official social media always do that little funny Instagram video each year where they ask drivers and team bosses random questions. It's well worth hunting that down. Terry Crews was part of that as well.
He's apparently a brand ambassador for Cadillac.
Yes.
Which must be paying him a good whack of money. Okay, into our new generation of F1, I suppose. We'll just jump straight into qualifying.
The small thing is that obviously Antonelli had a big shunt in FP3, but still made qualifying.
He did. So well done, Mercedes, for that. Lance Stroll didn't bother.
No, he literally didn't bother. And we're not joking. I think he literally didn't bother. Which annoyed me. I understand these circumstances are not good with the Aston Martin, but do a lap. Just do one lap.
Yeah, didn't take part in third practice, didn't take part in qualifying.
I would literally do 2 laps in free practice and a lap of qualifying. And I would love it, even if my hands were vibrated off their wrists.
Yeah, well, I think all our worst fears really about Aston Martin were kind of confirmed over the weekend, weren't they? They're in a big mess.
Yeah. What was it? They had 4 batteries that they came to Australia with, and by the end of first and second practice, 2 of them were broken, so they only had 2 for the rest of the weekend. That's in 1 for each car.
That's not ideal, is it?
No. They said, can you get any spares from Honda? And no, none exist at the moment.
That was probably the fascinating bit pre-race, is Adrian Newey's comments, where no one at Aston Martin realised that the Honda team they'd signed up with weren't the same Honda people who were there a couple of years ago. They had all disappeared to go design bikes or something.
Or the Ford engine in the Red Bull.
Yes. Yeah. So when they turned up at the Honda factory in December and realised that none of the people they were expected to meet were there, I think that was quickly when there was some changes at the top of the Aston Martin team, because they realised that the Honda team that was producing the new engine had absolutely no experience of F1. Which you would have thought you would have done your due diligence before you binned off the best engine on the grid this year for what turned out to be the worst.
Yeah, completely.
And have to make a gearbox from scratch.
It now makes a lot more sense why Andy Cowell was removed from team principal, because he was basically sent to Honda as he ran the Mercedes engine program last time we had the big engine change. And he's basically overseeing the Honda engine now.
Yeah, I hope they get it sorted soon, but it's a shame. Max Verstappen binned it fairly spectacular at turn 1. I'm not really sure what happened there, but it was a fairly spectacular crash and it put him out in Q1.
Looked like a complete car problem rather than Max. But what? I don't know.
The rear wheels or rear axle locked, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We did go into the Q3 in their debut, so well done to them.
But promptly broke down.
Yes, unfortunately.
Lawson and Limbad both got through to Q3 as well. George Russell took pole by quite a margin, 3/10 of his teammate and 8/10 over Hadjar in third. So spectacular from Hadjar, but that Mercedes is a rocket ship.
My opinion is that if Max was there, wouldn't he? You'd like to think, or you would assume, perhaps unfairly, we'll find out in the fullness of time, that he would be quicker than Hadjar. If you take half a second off Hadjar, then Max could have split the Mercs, maybe. Maybe I'm wishful thinking there.
Yeah, well, I think Hadjar's going to be closer to Max than his previous teammates have been. But, yeah, he would be in third or second, you would assume.
Well, I mean, the rest of the guys, like Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren, were all pretty close together. So we're all kind of saying that if you don't get your battery charge right, you're just completely screwed.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what Ferrari did in qualifying.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I am not enjoying the amount of battery chat that we're having. So, yeah, we'll come to the race. But, right, we got into Sunday, and then there was drama pre-race. And so Oscar Piastri managed to crash it, not on the formation lap, which might be important for our predictions, but on his laps to the grid. He went over a curb on like a third of the throttle, and because he was on a third of the throttle rather than full throttle, we had 100 kilowatts extra power than expected, which makes no sense to me. And
or to him.
Yes, so I'm clearly the wrong kind of engineer, because it being on a third of the power and suddenly getting 100 kilowatts extra electrical power out of the engine makes no sense, and I can absolutely see how that he's managed to crash it if that's happened.
Yeah, very unfortunate. You could see there's the little bump that he goes over, which unsettles the car. But, yeah, I don't blame him for that one, particularly. You say you get given suddenly extra power as you hit a bump. There's not much you can do.
Now, does that count for a prediction?
I vote no.
We did say last week formation lap.
Yeah.
For the first... We thought we clarified it.
I know, and we didn't.
Yeah. We should have said from a minute past midnight on Sunday, who's crashing their car.
Once the pit lane opens.
Yes. To be honest, I don't actually know who crashed first. So, did anyone else catch it?
Nobody crashed in the race.
I suppose it didn't. There was a bit of contact between a couple of cars, but yeah, you're right. I wouldn't call any of them a crash.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either this counts or we've not determined the winner yet.
I say I vote for the second one, just because we still continue our predictions that way, rather than all of us getting it wrong.
Yeah, we go to China.
Okay. It's a rollover.
Yeah. We take it to China. So, on to the race. We get this kind of start we thought we would get following practice, where the Ferraris were rocket ships off the line.
Mm-hmm.
Leclerc manages to get ahead of Russell. Hamilton's up there as well, but he goes wide at turn 1 and ends up losing.
Yeah, a bit disappointed by that.
Yeah, cost himself. He eventually kind of recovered his position, but he could have been up there fighting for the lead immediately. The moment at the start, though, was Colapinto, his incredible reaction. Which this is the danger of these cars that people were worried about. It's just people wouldn't get off the line.
Yeah, so Lawson had no battery and some issue, didn't he, at the start?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just sort of sat there. It was moving, but very slowly.
Yeah, relatively speaking, it wasn't really moving at all, but yeah. Just can't believe how he managed to get around that car. It's
insane, isn't it?
It is.
And not clip the wall, or maybe slightly brush the wall, I'm not sure. But and obviously it wasn't seen until the pre-podium champagne-sponsored room. And then now it's all over social media and stuff.
It was fairly spectacular. I mean, there's quite a few cars. Well, both Red Bulls, and I think both what we calling them now, Alpha Racing Bulls.
Racing Bulls, RBs.
Right. Yeah,
that's not changed from last year, is it?
It hasn't.
No.
Come on, Colin.
The Visa Cash apps, remember that?
Yeah, the V-Car people. Apparently, all of those turned up at the start line with 0% in the battery, which no one they don't understand how that happened either. So no one understands these cars yet, I think, is the crux of the matter.
I think what I saw from it was that in qualifying, they got the hang, vaguely anyway, of how to get the battery working, sort of how they wanted to. But going on a a formation lap, you then have to keep sort of stopping and starting to warm the tyres up and to get the brakes up to temperature, and that just drains the battery. So it's just poor planning, basically, is what I get it as. There should be a way you can make it just charge and not discharge at all on a formation lap.
Yeah. I don't know enough about electrical engineering. I'll agree with you.
No.
So, off the start, of course, we've got Leclerc in the lead. Him and Russell start changing position a few times. They are... I'll let you guys describe the overtakes. They're swapping positions, roughly up to what used to be the fast left-right-hander. Now, not sure how fast it really is.
Yeah.
But what were your guys' thoughts? Because if any other season, if we had multiple changes for the leads in the first 5 laps, we'd be screaming. But
yeah, I was excited by it to start with because it was, and I was still relatively excited because it was unpredictable. But none of them were what I would call a proper overtake. I mean, by the letter of how it's written, it's an overtake, but none of them were done on the brakes. Or maybe one of them was, I don't know, but it was all just about powering past with that extra power. And yeah, there's no skill in that.
I mean, that's similar with DRS, right? But
yes,
it just felt even more exaggerated here. And the one that gets me is the start of lap 8. Leclerc's got 4 or 5 car lengths on Russell coming out the first corner, around the second corner. And by turn 3, Russell's passed him. And it's just insane, the speed difference there.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And I'm watching it going, well, I don't know why, because it's not like a dedicated zone where I'm expecting more power, like DS would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I didn't know at that point, would this mean he'll have no power towards the end of the race? But that wasn't the case in the end.
Yeah, it's more the per lap, isn't it?
Yeah. And but it was just the gap between the two cars. Now I'm just watching it back now. It's insane, and it just felt cheap.
Yeah.
I don't like the boost button in touring cars, but at least it's nowhere near as effective as this. I was like, oh no, this is not that good. Some of the overtakes around the back of the track I quite enjoyed still, but this was, ugh.
But I still find it confusing as to what's the difference between the overtake and the boost. I know the rules on it, but I've no idea who's using what and when at any one time, because on screen there's nothing to tell you.
Are they hoping that we're not supposed to know?
Possibly.
Do they not want us to know?
Just the graphics they used. Near the end of the race, they started using a couple of ones that were showing the boost and overtake, but they weren't that clear, and they were only used at the end on some of the back markers. But I just think the cars need something similar to what Super Formula has, where they have a light on top of the car. If that's flashing or lit, you know they're using their boost or overtake or whatever it actually is.
I just can't help but think that it's a deliberate ploy to obfuscate and just have the more casual fan be like, whoa, overtaking.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Russell and Leclerc overtakes for me put me in a bad mood immediately. And that maybe tainted my thoughts in the end of the race, because it was like DRS times 10. You know, at least with DRS, if the zone was correct and the space was correct, it's still a battle on the brakes. It's still, you know, it still feels like there's skill. Whereas this one, it was just like, oh, my battery's dead. I am 100 miles an hour slower than you. On you go. And then suddenly the next straight, I've got all the battery. Let's go. It's just, I felt so... You know, the one that really annoyed me is, and it should, any other time, another great move is where Hamilton overtook Lindblad and was it Hadjar? Basically at the same corner. He got one on the way in and then one basically as he powered out the corner. But you could tell it was just all battery. Like, he suddenly went from alongside Lindblad, or behind Lindblad, to like 6 car lengths ahead immediately. And you're like, what the... You could tell it wasn't a skill thing. It was just... Well, I suppose part of the skill is managing your battery now, but...
That's not driving skill.
No, and I'm hoping this is, we've kind of spoken about off air, is they kind of learn a bit more and it calms down a bit so that everyone's using the battery in a kind of similar way and we get back to more driver skill based racing, which you could argue we've not really had for a while because of DRS, but this just feels so much worse than DRS.
I agree, and arguably as well, it maybe did get that way near the end of the race. It could just be the cars were all taking it easy, but there was no overtaking near the end.
No.
Or very little. And I don't know if that's because everyone started to work out the same places to use their boosts or whatever.
It could be. I think, didn't Verstappen get up to Norris but had a battery issue at that point or something?
Didn't hear that, but he certainly caught up to him and then made no progress.
Yeah, there was something weird there, which maybe it's not clear because people are keeping their cards close to their chests. I think there might have been something going on weird there. But yeah, it was really dull in the second half. And you're probably right. I worry that's a sign of the times when everyone's got everything figured out. Aren't you just all on the boost at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a decent scrap at the front because with Leclerc ahead of Russell with Hamilton fairly close behind, and Antonelli managed to recover positions after a poor start, and he was closing in.
He was.
But then got Hadjar's car blown up, which kind of spoiled it slightly because it allowed both Mercedes to pit. But the Ferraris decided to stay out. In hindsight, do you guys think that was a mistake?
Oh, completely, but I can see why they did it at the time because it was predicted to be a two-stop race. So they then thought, well, we can extend to a one-stop and there's a change in strategy, but that whole thing didn't pan out. I think the biggest mistake was not changing it with one of the cars.
Yeah, it is another typical Ferrari strategy blunder, sadly, where they could have split the strategy between them. And you could say hindsight's a wonderful thing, but when we're watching it live, we're all thinking that.
Lewis Hamilton was on the radio screaming, at least split us, let's bring one of us in. So
I agree with that. I don't think it would have changed the result. Because
probably not.
If you look... I just think the Mercedes had a pace advantage. I think towards the end, they're on way worn tyres, and Leclerc was not really closing in. So Hamilton was closing in on Leclerc because there was a tyre differential there, and he did really well at the end. We don't know if Leclerc's just sort of coaxing it home at that point. You would have thought with that tyre offset, Charles would have closed in on the Mercs. He didn't. So they had pace in reserve. That's what it told me.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, I got the feeling as well that the tyre offset doesn't matter so much if you've got good batteries.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can brake and corner quicker, but the Merc can presumably fire down the straights quicker. I did see that in qualifying against other cars with the Merc powertrain, the second sector, Russell pulled out like half a second.
Yeah.
So it's how they're applying it, how they're using it, is the aero and the cooling package all... They've got all this head start over their customer teams.
They have, and it was interesting that it was pointed out that McLaren, for instance, it wasn't due to aero performance or anything like that. They were losing in straight line. So it's how they're using their batteries, how they're using the energies and everything else, because Mercedes are not sharing that with their customers.
So they're giving them all the same equipment, but not the data. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's some trick software going on there, I think.
Uh-huh.
How busy do you think that the lawyers are at McLaren?
I think very.
Yeah,
I do as well.
They must be looking through those agreements and going, hold on now, we're entitled to the same kit as you, but whether that extends to the same guidebooks, the same data sharing, everything like that's the part where they're probably examining very closely what they're allowed to do, and Mercedes will have done the same, and they'll be feeling pretty comfortable that they don't have to give McLaren a heads up on how to run an engine. But Mercedes just looked so dominant once they got ahead. It would have been fascinating to see if Leclerc could have just stayed in front. How could he have fought late in the race, or would they have just pulled it?
If it's all just like this straight line stuff, you can't defend it, can you?
And they were very unfortunate with the second VSC, wasn't it? But they couldn't pit because they closed the pit lane as they were coming around.
Yeah, Bottas pulled up. Bottas broke down, didn't he? He was told to stop the car immediately. So
yeah,
it was unfortunate. I don't think it's a Bottas thing. He was parked right on the pit entrance.
And then they pushed him down the pit lane to get the car away. So that was why it was then closed after other people had already pitted.
Yeah, Yeah. During the first VSC or just the end of it, Alonso pulled in for the first time as well for a wee cup of tea.
Yeah.
And some rich tea. Colapinto got a penalty.
Well, he got
Colapinto and go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
It does show you that they're actually typing these in real time, so that's that's a new one. So yeah, he got a 10-second stop and go for a start infringement. Which,
Yeah. 10-second stop go is 1996 spec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did, but someone did post a video of George Russell who was very slightly rolling forward at the start.
Yes, but
Yes.
because he stopped moving and was still inside the box when a certain light was on, it's clearly within the rules, it's fine.
Yeah. We didn't mention it, but the person who did the lights this week was a bit naughty because the 5 lights were on for about 0.1 of a second.
I loved that though. I loved it.
I thought it was good.
Yes, well done, Australia. Because also you had all these new rules with the battery charging and building turbos up, and I thought that is a recipe for a crash. And look, you know, we nearly did get one with Colapinto to Lawson, right? But I'm all for it.
Yeah. We got a return of a classic fight between Liam Lawson and Sergio Perez.
Yes.
Well, someone just tell them that they can't steal each other's cars anymore. Like, calm it down, boys.
Perez was so aggressive.
Yeah, I think Perez was trying to get in his car.
So, yeah, Lawson was trying to go around the outside of turn 3. And, Perez just wasn't having it, which is fair enough. On yourself, Sergio. You're about 6 laps down at that point, so you might as well have done something.
I think he was on the same lap, wasn't he? But had he not pitted or something?
With Lawson, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gasly and Ocon, they reunited and had a little bit of a stramash.
Oh, stramash.
Yeah. It went on for ages, and I have no idea who was in front and who was behind at any one time. Because every time the broadcast showed an overtake, it was like 3 more happened off camera.
Yeah, while they were showing you like the screen replay of the overtake, you could already see on the time screen that they'd swapped back.
Yeah.
So it was like completely pointless. They went on board for a replay of, was it Norris lapping someone?
Yeah.
And then like they stopped the replay, and even Martin Brundle was like, I don't know why we watched that. It was
exactly.
Like, you just watched them go around 3 corners. Like nothing happened. It was bizarre.
A bit rusty from the direction there.
Yes. The Ferraris eventually pit, but they're behind the Mercedes at that point. Sainz had some issues.
He had an issue with the front wing, so the front wing active aero wasn't working. I'm not sure at which point, because I noticed Albon went past him like it was a clear team order. But yeah, he had to replace the front wing at a pit stop to get the active aero working again.
I was reading over the weekend, and I didn't see this part of the race, but apparently swapping the front wing over now isn't just an easy job. Do you see Sainz's pit stop? Was it any longer?
I didn't see it, but it was longer. Pre-race, they did say that despite all this new complexity to the front wings, they still should be changed in roughly the same time. And then they said, it took 15 seconds to do Sainz's.
So about 3 times longer than it used to.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think you just have to be a little bit more accurate with it because there's hydraulic lines and things like that have to be lined up. So if you get it slightly off, you can't just force it in. You just have to be a little bit more precise.
So, get towards the end of the race. Checo's Cadillac started dismantling itself.
Well, I think it was because of the Lawson contact. Maybe it just vibrated itself loose, but...
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't have a Honda engine.
Yeah, true. It was on the fast, sort of blind, curved part of the track, and Martin Brundle was bemoaning the fact to send a marshal out there. But the VSC was only out for like 20 seconds. Like they managed to clear it very quickly. But it was quite a bad weekend for debut on track. You know, you had Kimi Antonelli in qualifying going out with the fans still in the car, which he deposited. I think Lando Norris smashed into it during qualifying.
Did damage his wing.
He did.
And they got like a $5,000 fine or something.
Pretty lenient.
Yeah, it was a very small amount of money to fine them, I thought.
For 2 fans. Because they dropped one at turn 1, which went off track, and then dropped one on the straight, which Norris obviously managed to not see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, not a great weekend for that. So yeah, there's a bunch of midfield overtakes. Is there any you guys want to talk about?
Not particularly. There was no interesting ones per se, I didn't think.
Max made a recovery from the back of the grid. He managed to get up behind for Norris. He's 5th and 6th. But again, once they caught up, there was no fight, which was a disappointment because it wasn't going to be a fight at the front. Hamilton was kind of catching Leclerc, but run out of time, and you're looking at Norris Verstappen. Could something happen there? And it didn't.
Hopefully, as the season goes on and they get more used to these cars and how to use them, we might start seeing some more proper moves or lunges. But at the moment, it's like you say, we just drive past them. Otherwise, we don't attempt it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think pre-race, Martin Brundle made the comment, if you finish the race tomorrow, you're probably going to be in the points.
Yeah, which was not the case.
No, so he also thought there'd be huge reliability issues, and there was a few issues for some people. But I think 5 drivers retired in total.
Yeah.
Alonso, Bottas, Sajjar, Piastri, and Hulk.
Oh yeah, Hulk didn't even start, did he?
No. Lance Stroll was 15 laps behind because he came in for a wee break and then went back out again.
Yeah, stole Fernando's biscuits.
Yeah. Checo was 3 laps down, so again, not great. But, Alpine got a point, which was, I suppose, a wee bit of surprise. Bortoletto got a couple of points as well for Audi. But, yeah, fairly dominant for Mercedes.
It is. I do have to say, though, I think Audi and Cadillac both did a good job to get there and be semi-reliable. Audi did a good job to have a brand new engine that seemed reliable-ish. Obviously, Hulkenberg didn't start, but I believe it was a sensor issue, but they haven't confirmed that as opposed to a mechanical issue.
And we did that. Everyone did a really good job reliability-wise, I think. All things considered. I would like to flag that I think Alpine are a complete letdown. I mean, we know we all joke about it, but if you think about it, they've got the powertrain that wins. Like, now there's so much pressure now on Briatore and everyone who designs and engineers the car.
It is, but I also think it's a bit early to judge because
True.
Albert Park is apparently a very unique circuit. It's also very hard on batteries and recharging. So it'll be interesting to see at a different track like China, that apparently is much better for that, where everyone pans out again. Although I imagine Mercedes will still be comfortably fastest.
I agree. We said in the preview episode, though, that we shouldn't... Here's me judging Alpine very harshly, so I was wrong. But we shouldn't take it too seriously in terms of form, especially for these first 3 races.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting excited about Ferrari still. I still think Verstappen will be in there.
Still think these regulations were just poorly thought out at the beginning.
Yeah. They'll get there, though.
But last season we had an engine that produced 800 horsepower and a battery that produced roughly 200 horsepower. And now we have an engine that produces 500 and something horsepower and a battery that produces 400 and something horsepower. Just don't take quite so much energy or quite so much power out of the engine just for the battery. Because without the battery, the engine is pointless in a way because it just doesn't provide enough.
Yeah, and that was a frustration, certainly during qualifying. As soon as they went on an onboard, they're losing 50 kilometres on a straight when they're coming towards the end of a straight. And it's so, what's the word? It's so not natural to see that in a race car, certainly an F1 car.
Yeah, and downshifting on a straight.
And slowing down. F1 posted a picture or a video of the fastest car through the speed trap, and it was about halfway along the curve section on Albert Park, and then they stopped the video because the second half of that video would have been the car losing 50 kilometres an hour on a straight.
Yeah,
and it's just it just feels so backwards. So as I say, I hope they get on top of it and it's more balanced.
There is a proposal for that because at the moment the battery, and I can't remember if we're talking kilowatts or joules because there's lots of different things, but I think it can output 350 kilowatts, but it can only charge at 250 at a time. So they're trying to up that so as it can charge the whole battery at once, which means it will still slow down at the end of the straight, but it will be much further along the straight. I've no idea how that works, but that's the proposal.
So a watt is a joules per second.
Ooh.
So there you go. It's a discharge rate, essential
Nice.
power. So there you go. It's a wee bit of electrical engineering I did pick up at some point.
Nice.
Someone will ask ChatGPT and find out I'm wrong now. But anyway, we go to China next, which has got the longest straight in the world. Which
Yeah.
again, see if we have people slowing down before like the old DRS zone was, that'd be brutal. But we do have 4 straight zones in the next track. So start from a straight on the exit turn 4 down to 6, which is the tight right hand hairpin. Then the short straight between 10 and the sharp left hander onto the banking is another straight mode, and then of course the back straight, which goes on forever in the day. And the speed trap is towards the end of that straight. I've got a funny feeling they might change that during practice if it turns out
Yep.
the speed trap's like 140. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But you're right, they're talking about possibly changing rules for Japan, which is only a week away, which is quite a quick turnaround to implement anything.
I think that's too soon, though. As much as we want to, I'm not overly enthused. An element of it is just teams getting up to speed, right?
But yeah, don't make any snap decisions, but
No.
be prepared to change it. Just
Yeah.
don't until you have to.
Not until, obviously, then they've got bigger fish to fry at Formula 1 with Bahrain and Saudi working out what's going on there. So
Yeah. Well, Isaac Hadjar's already said it.
Yeah, Hadjar was talking very loudly on a plane, wasn't he? Saying that they're already cancelled.
Oh, really? I didn't see this.
Yeah, he's apparently blown that one. So
Well, just speaking of
And
which, you know his engine blew up, but he had issues from the very first lap.
yes,
So we didn't again see his true pace in the race at all.
No.
I think the Red Bull's going to be quicker than people are expecting.
I think it is. I think Australia masked a lot.
Yeah. We'll have to see, but it certainly doesn't look bad. Just dodgy on the brakes at the moment.
Oh yeah, because Max had a big. George had a big walk up, didn't he? But Max had a moment. Was that just his crash I'm thinking about, where his rear's locked up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think once to watch of the next 2 races, that I think everyone's getting too excited about Ferrari, and I'm really happy to be wrong. And I think Max rocks up at China and puts it on the front row and challenges for a win. Or
I hope
at least
so.
third.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Now, let's have a quick look at our predictions for the season. Is anyone feeling bad about anything they've said?
Oh, I felt bad the moment I said them.
I think none of us picking George Russell is probably going to prove to be a mistake. But yeah, the rest of it, Cadillac went for last in the constructors.
I still think, unless Honda basically withdraw from the season because they're fed up, I do think Aston Martin will progress enough to be ahead of them.
Colapinto, first driver replaced for 2 of us. I can see that still. I don't see the benefit, to be honest.
Horner, Aston Martin. Interesting. Hey, have you seen this rumour now that apparently Dodo might invest in Alpine?
Yes. I was reading that over the weekend, basically saying, Horner's definitely going to Alpine. I was going, damn it, my prediction was Aston. And then it was like Sunday that Toto Wolff is going to buy Alpine. I was like, Jesus. Well, maybe I'm right.
Merck Junior team. I don't know how that'd be for, it'd be weird if he did.
Yeah, because he personally owns part of Mercedes, doesn't he?
He does. He's much more than a team principal. Yeah.
It was a third. I believe there was some stakes that were sold or moved around, but he definitely did own a third of it.
That would be interesting. Because he was at Williams, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kicking around there for a while.
He owned something like 5 or 10% of Williams at the time before he then moved to Mercedes.
And now it's Bernie Eccleston.
What is Ben Eccleston?
Allegedly. Well, who's Derillion Capital? Who funds that?
Oh, right. Yeah, I was lost then. But yeah, quite possibly.
Nah, I'm only kidding.
Derillion Capital.
Conspiracy theory.
nobody actually really knows who they are, do they?
I will ask Google AI, who seems like one of the worst AIs I've ever used. So Simon Pigott is the sole director.
Yeah, but that's not the money, is it?
Well, let's ask AI. Bernie Echo.
No, I'm only joking
Stan
about that. But
involved.
It's definitely officially no.
There is no evidence, so we will withdraw that libelous remark that Tom has made and give our sincere apologies to Mr. Eccleston.
no lawsuits, thanks.
Yes. Right, any more we want to speak about F1?
No, just bring on China and see if anything improves.
Did Lindblad impress you?
Oh, yes, he did actually. Just for first race, everything. He performed very well, and he outperformed Lawson in the race, although Lawson did have that poor start, which put him much further back.
Aye, but he's on his pace. In qualifying, they were similar-ish. I can't help but think that those two cars, if any cars fall back, it's going to be those. I think Audi's surpassed expectations, and I think has a higher ceiling to improve. So they could fall back as the season goes on, is my prediction.
Yeah.
But he did a really good job. I liked at one point where he was defending from Max Verstappen.
Yes.
Even though he's probably got himself sacked. I think. Oh, no, sorry, it's a different era now. Even though he would have got a letter in the post, it showed some gumption. There is an onboard where I think he's like almost brake checking him in the pit lane. I wasn't sure about that. But,
yeah, Max wasn't happy about that.
But it shows that he's not going to be roll over, and I like that.
Yeah, I do as well. Especially as he's someone who hasn't had the best junior career.
It's not been outstanding, yeah.
Not a standout, yeah. So it's good to see him giving his all.
And Williams, you've messed up.
Oh, God. Yeah, we haven't spoken about Williams, but we mentioned in the preview. How big a disappointment is that?
Once again, I think that's a wait and see, because there are things to help them catch up. It's whether or not they can. Because as it stands, they're probably the third worst team.
I'm with you. Like, wait and see. They can catch up. They know some things to fix. But they're not going to be winning races. And this is what we all wanted. This was the year when Williams were going to... They're nowhere near. So even with some choice upgrades, like you think you predicted fifth in the constructors, right? So that's fine. But it's not amazing. It's even then, it's below expectation.
Yeah, they must be gutted. You know, Sainz and Albon must be gutted as well. Because we've been hearing for years it's all about 2026. And 2026 hasn't been kind so far. Let's put it that way.
It has to look now that, you know, if the agreed theory is that Sainz Jr. had an Audi contract offer, I think that's actually public. This could be a mistake.
Yeah, but I do wonder if a year or two's time that contract will still be there, because you've got Hulkenberg in a seat and you've got Bortoletto in a seat. Bortoletto's not really impressed me too much, and Hulkenberg's going to age out at some point. So
we should also mention he didn't even start the race.
Yes. So I don't know, maybe that opportunity will come again, or maybe he'll, you know, a top seat will open up for him again. It's hard to see that, but you never know.
Yeah. If Max gets fed up.
Yeah, that's the one I was about to say. Albon might be a shoe-in for Red Bull again if Max ever goes.
He's doing the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Have you seen this? In the top class in a Merc GT3. I think that's really cool.
Under his real name this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was saying in his interviews over the weekend he's going to enjoy those races much more than any F1 race this year. He absolutely despises these rules.
Yeah. I don't blame him. So.
Yeah. But we have open minds, and we'll be back next week after China to say how great everyone was. I really do hope it improves, and I'm trying to remain positive because I really didn't enjoy Australia. I really didn't enjoy that. So I'm hopeful for the next two tracks.
What time did you watch it?
Oh, like 11.
Yeah, I think Tom, you was pretty much live, wasn't you?
I watched it live. Yeah.
Why?
8 o'clock when I woke up is when I watched it.
I watched it. I don't have Sky to record or anything, but I bought the Now Pass for the day.
Yeah.
At 5 to 4. I thought, here we go, I'm doing it.
What were you doing up at that time?
To watch Formula 1.
Oh, right. God. Yeah. No, I watched it on fast forward, thankfully. I watched
I
up
went
till
back
the
to sleep for
Ferrari
2
pit
hours.
stops, and then once Ferrari pitted and made a complete mess of it, I was on the skip forward, which had the benefit of not having the Sky commentary when you're on fast forward.
Yeah, and I did the same as well. After about lap 40-ish, something like that. It was just, yeah, let's just fast forward a little bit and see what's happening. But nothing really did.
Yeah. Sky need to have a serious think about their coverage. I'm not going to get in a rant after week 1.
I mean, you kind of just have.
No, that wasn't a rant. That was observation. But the rant is pending if both David Croft and Martin Brundle are as bad as they were this week.
They felt just a bit too partisan towards Formula 1 as a whole, I felt.
Yeah.
And Croft does that usual thing. I mean, he's always done it, but it's like this when Russell finally gets past Leclerc and starts, building a margin. Will Leclerc fight back? And it'd be like, no.
Clearly not. You fool.
You don't have to hype it up that much, Like, sometimes, I'm not asking you to say, oh, this is boring, but don't get overly excited when nothing much is happening.
Yeah.
It is one of my pet peeves about all of commentating and punditry is when they tell me how fantastic the thing I've just watched is.
Aye, it's my decision, that.
Yeah.
Give me analysis. Give me play-by-play, Crofty. Martin Brundle, give me a bit of personality and a bit of analysis. Just don't do what you did on Saturday. And if I hear them talk about energy charge one more time, my head's going to explode. Anyway, I'm delving into a rant. I'm going to pause myself.
Yeah. But the other thing as well was, Alonso retires, and then we get all these facts about how many times he's retired from the Australian Grand Prix and when his first anniversary of retirement was. And I'm thinking, those are stats I don't care about.
Yes. Plus, he hasn't finished retiring from this one yet.
Yeah, he actually rejoined it after that.
Yeah.
I want a shot. Give me a shot. I'll do it better. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I reckon you do pretty good.
I'll do it for free, Sky. I'll do it for free. Yeah, thank you for downloading and listening if you got this far. We'll be back next week with China, and it'll be the two-man band next week because Tom is departing us to go and visit our pal Donald.
No, don't say like that. I'm not saying anything.
Yes, well, you enjoy the States, and we'll enjoy China.
See you then. Well, I'll be listening then. Hope it's a good race.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Oh, speaking of Rich Tea, I bought them for the first time in years the other day because I used to love them when I was a kid, dipping in my tea. How shit are they, by the way? Like, I was so disappointed. I was like, this is not what I remember. So, yeah, Rich Tea are firmly down the bottom of my biscuit list now.
I don't have any comment on
key
that.
information.
Oh, actually, I do, because have you seen that Formula 1 is sponsored by Kit Kat now?
I bought one the other day.
Yeah. They've got those little Formula 1 biscuits. But have you seen that Marks and Spencer's, this is very middle class, even though I'm not middle class, has brought back its sort of 80s, 90s Kit Kat rival. I can't remember what it's called, but it's amazing. So it's worth an overpriced visit to Marks and Spencer's.
M&S Kit Kat.
Yeah, it's got some other name.
Take 4.
Take 4. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Oh.
4-finger wafer bar.
It is delicious. Yeah.
I don't know where they got the idea from.
Some of the BBC commentary during the Winter Olympics was amazing. Take any of them.
Just not Jonathan Pierce. Personal preference.
Okay, good to know.
Jonathan Pierce on Robot Wars, yes. Jonathan Pierce on anything else, no.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It's the only time I enjoyed Jonathan Pierce commentary was when it involved robots.
Yes, exactly.
Right, we need to go.